Reading with your kids.
Hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, assalamu alaikum, shalom, jambo, bienvenidos. Hi, my name is Jedley, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast, coming to you from the beautiful neighborhood of Reedville in the southwest corner of Boston, Massachusetts. Have you subscribed to our show yet? We hope you do. You can do so at the iHeartRadio app, on Google Podcasts, on Stitcher Radio, on Himalaya, or wherever you find your podcasts. We are so excited. Today we are talking to the founder and producer of the Chicago Toy and Game Fair, Mary Couzin. We are so excited about the Chicago Toy and Game Fair. It's happening November 23rd and 24th, and we're really excited because the Reading with Your Kids podcast is going to be live at the Chicago Toy and Game Fair. We are creating this totally immersive and interactive booth that'll give you and your family an opportunity to see what it feels like to be part of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We're going to have loads and loads of books there. We're going to ask families to read the book or preview the book, and then come on and record a review of the book that they experienced together. Talk about the book. Talk about how much fun they had together. You will get a souvenir. You'll get a copy of that interview for you to keep forever. We're going to email it to you. And we're also going to use a number of those segments that we record on future episodes of the podcast. And we're going to have this great big prize that everybody who participates is going to be entered to win this great giant basket of books and games. And it's going to be so much fun. It's happening November 23rd and 24th at Navy Pier in Chicago. And check this out. If you use the promo code RWYK at their website, shytag.com, CHITAG.com, shytag.com, use that promo code RWYK. It's our initials, Reading with Your Kids. You save $3 on every ticket that you purchase, and you can purchase as many tickets as you'd like. Be sure to join us November 23rd and 24th at the Chicago Toy and Game Fair on Navy Pier in Chicago. Joining us on the line right now from Chicago in Illinois. I am so excited. You've been hearing me talk about my being at the Chicago Toy and Game Fair in November, where we have the producer and the founder of the largest Toy and Game Fair in North America. Please welcome to the show, Mary Couzin. Mary, how are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you, Jeff, for having me on your podcast. I'm excited.
I'm really excited, too. I'm so excited to get out to Chicago to be a part of this amazing fair. I understand you're expecting over 40,000 people at the fair.
Well, keep in mind that half of them are under 4 feet tall. So, and they're there to have a great time.
That is wonderful. Now, you founded the Chicago Toy and Game Fair back in 2013. What was it that inspired you to create an event that celebrates invention, toys, and play?
So back in the 90s, I was working in real estate, and it just wasn't creative enough for me, and I needed an outlet. So I started designing toys and games on the side, my side hustle, if you will. And I self-produced, I licensed, and then after I got to know the industry a bit, I started helping other inventors. And it was a lot of fun helping other inventors and getting to know people. I'm definitely a people person. And I started traveling around to the other fairs, both around the States and overseas. And I was at this one fair in Germany, Essen, and I saw families all playing together, and it was so awesome. Like, even in the aisles, like they were everywhere. Kids got off school for this show. It was incredible. And so I thought, I can do that. I should start that in the States. And so I came back in 2003, and I rented Navy Pier. Not having a clue, not having put on anything bigger than Christmas dinner. So it was a learning experience. I've learned a lot, and we've grown quite a bit since then, but we are all about play and innovation.
I love how you said you came back and we rented Navy Pier. if I hadn't been to Chicago in the last year or so and hadn't been to Navy Pier, I would have thought, yeah, okay. But that's quite a huge deal. Navy Pier is kind of like the centerpiece of Chicago. It's like right there. It's where everybody flocks to.
It is Midwest's largest tourist destination. They get something like, I don't know, something crazy like 10 million people there a year. It's gorgeous. And they just built a hotel on top even. Like, it's just really an incredible space.
So there's so much I want to talk to you about, but I guess, maybe the first thing I should talk about, where did you get the courage or perhaps craziness to think, just rent out Navy Pier and put on this toy fair?
Because I thought, who doesn't love toys and games? And then, I'm looking at this other show that I was attending, which is in this tiny little town in Germany, and they got over 50,000 people.
Wow.
And so I thought, well, I'm in Chicago, and I'll get more than that. I told everybody I was going to get 100,000 people my first year out. Well, I didn't, needless to say, and I lost a load of money that first year. But like I said, I learned a lot, and nobody else was doing it, and so there was nothing I could look to for this, right? It was a brand new thing. And the thing is families have a lot of options. Every day when they wake up, there's a million different things they can do. And so we moved it from the first year we were on Labor Day. We moved it to right before the holidays, and on the same weekend as a Disney Festival of Lights parade with Mickey and Minnie lighting Michigan Avenue, and that brings in 1.5 million people. So that helps us out a lot. So we promote to people, spend the weekend in Chicago, go to the parade, come to our fair, make it all about the holidays. And that's worked. That's been very good for us.
That's wonderful. We talk a lot about the importance and the value of reading with our kids. And I think everybody understands that, when the little kids are little babies, we read to them. That's a great way for them to start to learn how to read and hopefully develop a love of reading. And I think we're starting to help people understand that it's so important for us to continue to read with our kids as they become independent readers, because that conversation that we started with our kids when they were babies sitting on our laps reading picture books can just continue on as we co-read with our kids and still read aloud some books with our tweens and our teens. Talk about the value of families playing games together.
Well, I believe it's the same as reading. I'm a big advocate of readers as well. I always read with my kids. They still to this day are readers. For me, reading is an escape. I love it. As soon as these events are over, that's the first thing I do is I grab a book to escape and really kind of detox, or maybe not detox, it's probably a bad word, but, just to relax. And, I love reading. So it's the same thing, right? You're spending time with your family, it's an interaction with them. And I think it was Plato, somebody said that you can learn more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of interaction, because you get to know what they're about when they're stressed or when they're about to make a move, let's say in a board game, or how they think, right? Their strategic thinking. And I know from personal experience, when I played games with my kids, they weren't really focused as much on what they were telling me, so because they were focused a little bit on the game, so they would tell me things they would never otherwise tell me, just a casual conversation. So it really gets the defenses down. It's really funny. But I enjoy it.
That is absolutely true. Those secret kind of spying skills. Spying is a bad word, but the secret skills that parents can use to kind of, help their kids feel more comfortable and drop their guards and really have a conversation about what's going on in their lives. It's so really important. And you're right, playing a game with our kids, it really encourages that conversation and helps kids feel relaxed. You talked about inventing games yourself. What's that like?
Oh, it's so much fun. In fact, someday I hope to get back to that. You're bringing something to life, and you have to bring other people into it. There's play testing, and just fun. I had so many play tests. I would feed everybody, bring them over to play test games, and it was really a fun process. And there is a magic, like discovering that magic in each game. It's not as easy to create things as people might think.
Mm-hmm.
There's a simple elegance in rules. Like the simpler you can make a toy or a game, the better it is. If you start to overcomplicate it, people get confused and they don't want to play with it. So, it's the type of thing that you look at it and you think, I wish I had thought of that, like something simple that you get immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I love it. It's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun to co-invent, too. And, my daughter invented a couple card games when she was in 4th grade, and because of that, we started our Young Inventor Challenge. And these kids, this is sort of our passion project, this Young Inventor Challenge. And this year, we had 3 kids who got licensed, the 3 winners, past winners. Their games came to market this year. And they are like in Target, they're everywhere. 3 girls, 2 were licensed by Play Monster and 1 by Goliath. And people can read about them on our website under Young Inventor Challenge. But we really want to get more kids inventing, being creative. And you can invent with your family. But we encourage that. We have a design guide that walks the kids right through the very beginning to the end, and videos from other kids, and it's just, we love these kids. We have about 250 kids from 14 states, last year, 14 states and 5 countries, and we hope to beat that this year.
Wow. So how does that work at the fair? Will folks have a chance to see some of these games that these young inventors have created?
Yes, they can. We do have an option where kids can compete via video if they can't come to the fair.
Mm-hmm.
But at the fair, yes, the public is welcome to see what the kids have designed. And every kid that enters, whether it's in person or on video, we have at least 2 industry mentors that review their products, like the head game buyer at Target, the president of Goliath Games, top 10 game inventors from all over the world, the inventor of Bop It and Simon Swipe, really top people in our industry, the top product acquisition people for Spin Master, Lego. They're all looking at what these kids have, and they love this, by the way. They love these kids. And they give the kids real feedback on what they've designed and give them ideas on how to improve. And often those kids can change it up just a bit before the show, or they change it up and they come back the next year and show it like the new version of their toy or game.
What an exceptional opportunity for a kid with this creative mind and a creative way of thinking, to have an opportunity to sit down and to be mentored with folks who are making their living inventing and sharing inventions with the world. That's just amazing.
We love this program. Truly, it's my favorite.
Yeah. What was where did the inspiration for the Young Inventor Challenge come from?
Well, from my daughter when she was in 4th grade, and then there was another kid or two, so this is back, we started 14 years ago, so it's been a while, but a couple other kids were talking about inventing games, and then I thought, we should do something to introduce them to our industry so that our industry, all the companies can see what these kids can do, and maybe more of them will get licensing deals, because who better to know what a kid wants than a kid, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so we have, that's exactly what happens here. The kids get to meet the industry, the public, the media. We get them on TV. Some of our kids have gone on to do TED Talks, be on Conan O'Brien, Steve Harvey, Martha Stewart. I'm trying to remember all the places these kids have been. It's wild. And they make the best spokespeople because they are so passionate about what they've invented. In fact, tomorrow, on Windy City Live in Chicago, we have 2 or 3 of our inventors on TV. They are the best to watch.
That's just fantastic. Now, you keep talking about games getting licensed. What can that mean for a young inventor, or for maybe, one of the authors who loves listening to the podcast here, maybe inspired to create a game based on one of the characters in their book? What does it mean for them to be licensed?
So in general, when a company licenses your idea, they want to produce it, and they'll give you a royalty based on generally it's 3 to 5% of wholesale, and they take it from there. They do all the manufacturing, PR, marketing, and this makes it sound simpler than it is, but you just collect checks. And we also have, for adults, we have an inventor conference at the just before the fair, the 2 days before the fair, a full-blown inventor conference. And right now we have 60 companies attending with, I think, almost 100 executives from those companies. So looking for new ideas from new inventors and professional inventors.
You know, one of the things we've talked about here on the podcast a lot is inspiring kids to check out the STEM fields, and, you know, invention and creation is, you know, really tied up with STEM fields and science and technology. And to me, it seems like a wonderful way to inspire kids to get involved in STEM fields is giving them, you know, this vision of, hey, you could create something that families around the world will play with and have hours and hours of fun playing with.
I agree 100%.
Can you talk about, you know, obviously different games are different, but typically what's an average game? How many folks actually buy, you know, a kind of a middle level game? Are we talking 1,000 people in the United States? Are we talking 10,000 people around the world?
Oh, it's huge. Games are one of the largest sectors now in the toy industry. Games have been increasing up until this year. I think it was something like 25% a year. There are board game cafes opening up all over the place. Big ones and doing really well. The games are huge. And all types of games, too. Like, if you go to Target, you'll notice that their game section is enormous now. Mm-hmm. And construction, toys, too, are good. Right now, the toy industry is doing quite well, despite, you know, Toys R Us recently went out of business. But out of all the different categories, because there's plush and craft kits and construction toys, dolls, collectibles. Like, there's so many different categories, right? Mm-hmm. Games are one of the top categories. They're outperforming everything. It's I think people crave that face-to-face interaction. It's just even stores that didn't typically carry games before are starting to carry games because they're so hot.
Yeah. Well, I know my family and I were down in Costa Rica, and we, you know, went out to lunch, and there on our table, as we were waiting for lunch to come out, there was a game of Jenga, and we started playing Jenga at the table.
Oh, I love that. So the inventor of Jenga is a close friend of mine.
Really?
She, in fact, she'll be at the event. She's one of the sponsors of our events. She lives in Oxford, England, and Kenya, Africa. She's got 2 homes, and she is lovely. And in fact, I like to use her as an example. If you sell 1 million songs, you're on the cover of Rolling Stone. 1 million books, the New York bestseller list. But if you've sold over 100 million Jengas, nobody knows who you are. Is that crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy.
So I'm looking to make Leslie Scott a name that everybody knows. Because they should. She's awesome, too. She rocks it. She represents the Smithsonian in the UK. She's got a lot going on. And the people should know how cool she is.
And folks will have a chance to meet her at the Chicago Toy and Game Fair?
Right. Actually, we're going to be running a contest. It's so funny. So we have something called the Toy and Game Innovation Awards on Friday night, right before the fair, and where we honor Toy Inventor of the Year, Game Inventor of the Year, Rising Star. And so Leslie has agreed to let us use her in a contest. And so people can win 2 tickets to the Toy and Game Inventor of the Year Awards and sit with Leslie. Is that awesome?
That is awesome. How do folks enter that contest?
So it's going to be on our Facebook page, and I think it starts next week. It revolves around Halloween. We were trying to think, like, what's a fun contest for people? And we thought that if they entered pictures of themselves dressed in different Halloween costumes, or something like that, and so our social media people are still working out, but I think it starts next week.
Super. And one of the things that I've been talking about here on the podcast is that families and kids that go to the Chicago Toy and Game Fair November 23rd and 24th at Navy Pier, the kids will be able to play with life-size toys and games. What's that all about?
Oh, well, people love the life-size things, right? So, there's just so much going on. It's just absolutely crazy. We have the Blackhawks. The hockey team has a big inflatable rink there. We've got a Frozen 2, that movie's coming out. I think the same weekend, actually. I think a Frozen 2 scavenger hunt, and all kids dressed in Frozen costumes get them for free on that Saturday. We have the Big Idea traveling lab performance. We have the world's largest kid-powered, rocket. So kids will be able to, it's sort of like a stomp rocket. It's air-powered. And it can go 150 to 250 feet. It's going to be awesome. We have photo ops with Star Wars characters and yo-yo contests and giant bubbles. I could go on forever here. It's just, there's so much going on. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to be out there and to be a part of it. I'm so honored to have been invited out there. Is there anything else that folks are going to be able to experience at the Chicago Toy and Game Fair that we haven't covered yet?
Oh, well, there's stage events going on. There's mascots and costume characters. It's very immersive and interactive. There's ride-ons. There's this really cute product called My Buddy Wheels. That's one of the hottest products this season, actually. It's like this giant plush that goes over a ride-on. So it looks like you're riding a unicorn or a horse or whatever animal. They're so adorable. And they've got this giant space where you can do that. And they're thinking about doing adult-sized ones. Now, wouldn't that be awesome? For photo ops, right? So that one's just, I don't know. There's just everywhere you go, there's 150 booths of just fun stuff to do. And you do not get bored. There's just it's just, the time will pass so quickly because you are just very focused on what's happening and learning. It's very much about discovery. A lot of museums exhibit. We're very excited.
We're really excited too. So again, it's November 23rd and 24th at Navy Pier in Chicago, the Chicago Toy and Game Fair. Where can folks go online to find out more about the fair?
So they can go to our website, or you can just Google Chicago Toy and Game Fair. It'll come right up. Our website is chitag.com, CHITAG.com. And we look to the fair. We welcome educators, scouts, military, police, and fire as our guests. These are important groups, and they are our guests at the fair. And there are all sorts of Groupon deals, travel zoo, you name it. You can find some type of deal on tickets. And we hope everybody comes out. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and one deal that you can have is if you use the promo code RWYK, you can save $3 off of each ticket, and you can buy as many tickets as you want at chitag.com.
Thank you.
We've had such a great time speaking to the founder and the producer of the Chicago Toy and Game Fair, Mary Couzin. Mary, thanks so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. This was an honor, quite an honor. Thank you.
Please be sure to join us for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Our guest will be Rebecca Sosney. She's going to be telling us about her beautiful little picture book, The Little Lost Fairy. Hey, if you are the author of a fantastic children's book, we would love to help you tell the world all about it. being a guest on the podcast. It's fun, it's easy, and it gives you the chance to tell thousands and thousands of people about your fantastic children's book. I mean, we just had the producer of the largest toy and game fair in North America on the podcast. If it's a worthwhile experience for her, how important would it be for you and your children's book? I think it would be pretty important. You can check it out today. Go to our website, readingwithyourkids.com. To be a guest in the show, all you need to do is to click on the contact button. Let us know about your great book. We will let you know the next easy steps. We also have some great holiday promotion programs going on, and we also want you to check out our Reading with Your Kids Certified Great Read program. That is a wonderful program that can help families be confident that your book is worthy of their consideration and that it's worthy to be part of their family library. Check it all out today. You can find it all at readingwithyourkids.com. I want to thank the folks who made today's show so very wonderful. Mary Couzin, producer and founder of the Chicago Toy and Game Fair. Be sure to join us November 23rd and 24th at Navy Pier in Chicago. I also want to thank my producer, Fatima Khan. She's amazing. She does so much for the show. Please don't miss her blog at readingwithyourkids.com. I want to thank my beautiful wife for all of the support that she gives me. And, of course, more than anything else, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And thank you so much for taking the time to make the world a better place. And you do that every time you play with your kids and every time you read with your kids. I'll be looking for you in the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.